7 o'clock, and I would like to call to order the August 17th, 2016 meeting of the Novi Library Board of Trustees. Trustee Verma, would you please do the roll call?
I will. Thank you. Trustee Melissa Augusta.
Present.
Trustee William Lawler.
Here.
Trustee Craig Mazenek.
Here.
Trustee Tara Misner.
Here.
Trustee Doreen Hubbard.
Here.
Trustee Ramesh Verma present. Student Rep Ruchiri Ankaredi Guri.
Here.
Student Rep Cindy Hong. She is not here.
She is not tonight, on vacation.
Okay.
Absent excused.
Trustee Geoffrey Wood is
Absent excused.
excuse. Also.
Very good. Thank you. Would everyone please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Let's start by looking at tonight's agenda. Does anyone wish to modify or comment on tonight's agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Okay, next, let's take a look at the point 5, which is the consent agenda. We've got two items there, the approval of claims and warrants L545 and the approval of the regular meeting minutes from July 20th. Before I ask for comments or a vote, just an observation, you'll see in the warrants that they've highlighted for us in yellow the items that are charged to the last fiscal year budget. So that kind of helps us see how the numbers fall into the two different fiscal years. Any comments or questions on the consent agenda or the regular meeting minutes from last month? If not, may I have a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passed unanimously. Very good, thank you. Moving on to correspondence, I don't believe we have any.
We do not.
But we do have, the next point, a special guest and a presentation.
We do. So I'd like to introduce Erin Ilg. She is from Community Financial Credit Union, and Sue Johnson, who is the president of the Friends of the Novi Public Library. They're going to join me up at the podium. And Craig, would you like to join us?
Sure.
So I'm excited to present and introduce to you both Erin and Sue, because Lindsay Fricke, who is our teen librarian, this summer, with the help of Sue Johnson from the Friends, wrote a grant to go towards learning kits for STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. So these are kits that we're going to be purchasing with the wonderful grant money that was received by Community Financial, and those kits will be purchased in the next couple months and be incorporated into the library for young people to check out at the Novi Public Library. At this time, I don't know how many kits are being planned, but we'll look for a small collection, and then we'll be able to do some promotion of them, and then encourage the kids to be using them on their own. This is, as you know, a very popular topic and has been worked on and promoted through schools at first in the last few years. And also it's geared a lot towards young women to get more interested in science and engineering and mathematics, but it welcomes both boys and girls to be using the kits and to experience how you go through those different types of subject areas and learning and exploring on your own and through home. So I'm going to invite Erin to come up for a moment and talk on behalf of Community Financial. It's a really big check. Hi. Again, I'm Erin Ilk. I'm an Education Partnership Coordinator for Community Financial. I'm here to present the Novi Public Library with $1,000
for the STEAM program. And this is from our Summer of Sharing program at Community Financial. So what we're doing is we're giving away for 65 days, $1,000 a day to different community organizations. So we were very happy and pleased to have Novi Public Library want to have this grant, and we were pleased to accept it for you guys. So here we go. Yes, so this is awesome. Yes.
This is our second time in a row.
Wow.
That we last year's grant went to a teen book club that Lindsay also did. And this year, and I think it's 18 packets. Yes, they planned. Okay, because I wasn't sure on the total. So, to contain DVDs, books, and all sorts of things to encourage in the technology field. So.
Thank
So
you.
we'll do a photo real quick if you all don't mind.
That was just lovely.
We'll come up this way so that way we're on from your podium. Wow, this is exciting.
Thank you very much.
Did I hear that every 65 days they will give $1,000 as a gift?
65 days, yeah.
So after 65 days, we can get another one?
Well, I'll tell you what, yes, one a year, and they've been doing this the last 2 years, so there definitely is a possibility for
Yeah,
next
this
year.
year is only 4 months, and then next year.
I'll just make sure, we have some great librarians who come up with some great ideas, and then they go ahead and write it, and we appreciate the Friends, working with us and using the opportunity for their 501c3, and for them also to be our partners in providing these new programs and opportunities for the community. So thank you, Sue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
both
very much.
I just would like to compliment you on your good judgment for where you're spending that $1,000. So that's number one. And number two, I would like to thank again the Friends of the Library. We just approved the minutes to receive the $40,000 from last month. And so it's very keen, the hard work that the Friends do in the community, and the outreach and the collaboration with business for a very good cause that does build the city of Novi. So good judgment and good service. Thank you.
Yes, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you.
We'll see you next Friday for some jazz.
So the next presentation was by David Silverman. Unfortunately, he's not here. I was hoping to introduce all of you to him. David has actually been on the staff for a few years now as a part-time librarian. And we had someone leave a full-time position. David was able to apply and was offered and had accepted the new position for the full-time electronic services librarian. His role at the library is to be our go-to person when it comes to social media. He's also in charge of working on our electronic databases and the budget that you all helped me decide on. He works with different vendors that provide different types of online resources for the library. An example of that would be some of the business databases that we have that we make available for the community to come in and use when they're checking financial information and stock information. We also, with Gail being one of our online resources as well, so that's just another example. Oh, there he is. Social media, electronic databases. David has also done some computer one-on-one. I'm going to introduce you. Go ahead up, David, to the podium here, right there. And I'll let him talk just a little bit about what other things he's planning and how he plans to take this position in the future. So David, thank you so much for joining us. I gave the board just a little bit of background about you working on social media and also being in charge of our electronic databases. But if there's anything else that you'd like to add and what you're hoping to bring to the position, please feel free to share.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and thanks you to Julie for inviting me here. My name is David Silberman. I've been in the Novi Library for 5 or 6 years now. Happy to be on as the full-time electronic services librarian. We're playing around with a lot of directions on where we can go. Some of the things I'm hoping for in my first few months are to explore some new database possibilities, looking into some electronic resources to supplement the STEM and STEAM curriculum. I'm looking into some science resources, databases specifically from Gale. Some of them include some 3D printable downloading files that we can, maybe place some in the stacks, maybe place a biology molecule, right by the biology books, something along those lines. So it's more instinctive as you're walking through the aisles what things are where. We're also hoping to maybe get a live feed going for some of our story times, broadcast that live on Facebook, so that people who may not be able to get to the story times can still enjoy them. Aside from that, mostly focusing on updating and keeping up to date our periodicals collection, as well as our other electronic resources to promote them and get some good use out of them.
I also want to add that David is a baseball enthusiast, so he's always willing to round up staff to go to a game. In fact, there's a number of us going to a game on Friday night. And he has put in displays, has planned programming around baseball, knowing that that's a huge love of his. And he was also the one who planned and put together the Ascension Brewery programs that we had this spring. So he definitely has some amazing new ideas, kind of taking us out of the box and connecting with some patrons and residents that we might not have connected with in the past. So he's bringing some great ideas to our library.
Congratulations on your new position, and thank you for helping me with my scanning project.
My pleasure.
I believe it was yesterday.
Very good. Any other questions for David? Yes.
I just always have to commend someone who has the technological skills as well as the ability to research. And it sounds as though you have a blend of that and able to go through to see what there is and really make good judgments on what's out there in this plethora of unknowns in the social media world. I also want to commend you on story times on Facebook. One of my concerns have always been for the children whose parents are not as engaged as involved. And so maybe they'll find, their older siblings will find some of this. So I urge you to kind of let the schools know that this is available for younger children when and where it's going to be possible. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to come and see us. We always like to meet people, and Julie has brought in some other folks so we can get to know you a little bit. So thank you and welcome aboard.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
We have reached the time in the meeting for public comment. In order to hear all citizen comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 5-minute time limit. This is not a question and answer session, therefore library board members will not respond to questions. It is an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the Novi Public Library Board of Trustees. Seeing no one coming forth to the podium, we will move on to the student representative report.
Okay. On July 6th, teens met to watch a new movie about a successful robotics club and a spectacular sports movie program. July brought the start of Makeover Mondays. Teens enjoyed learning different makeup tips ranging from foundation to eye makeup from New York artist Gayatri Kalia on Mondays at 1 p.m. On July 13th, certified personal trainer Mary Beth Hausner conducted a 1-hour class to teach teens techniques to improve overall fitness at the fitness training workshop. On July 27th, teens put their design skills to the test while competing in Candy Olympics. This month's programs: on August 1st, Makeover Mondays, Eye Makeup and Lashes. On August 3rd, Healthy Eating and Cooking 101. On August 12th, the summer reading program Lock-In Finale Party. And August 23rd, the Tween Spelling Bee.
You certainly have been busy and involved, and there's such variety of activities that you're involved in. Do you have a pretty good investment during the summer, or do things kind of like move off with attendance during the summer months? As I think they would, but do they?
Well, during summer months, we do kind of like slightly different programs.
Yes, you do.
The like Teen Space and like TAV, like they go on during like school year, and they have like our majority of the consistent team members come to those. So I think like during the summer programs, it's more like who wants to go for fun.
The numbers have been significantly high for the summer, so it's great that we're connecting with teens even through the summer.
That's great. 'Cause it's been-
Especially with the high school, not in session and not
I
having.
know. You
Yep,
would think it
because
would
they're-
drop
right.
rather than
No,
be involved.
they've been pretty active all summer.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I don't have anything on your report directly, but if you wouldn't mind sticking around, I do have a question on item 9A, the city council resolution increasing the terms of the youth council members to 2 years. I guess my first question, I don't know who to.
It would
but-
be to me, and I would have to, based on your question, would have to find out, because it's not something that we're involved in.
It was just, was there any input received from the members about it? And also, have you heard anything, is this something positive, negative, neutral for these people, or you haven't heard much?
Actually, I was applying to be like re-put on this board, but they told me that like I couldn't apply because like they're gonna like move the process forward. So before that time, which was like around like June, I had no idea what was really going on.
Yeah, so they just found out. That's why I included the information in the packet this month. So there's going to be a change, and the reason for the change is so that we can engage the kids better. We found that if we were doing the end of the year and then going through the summer, we would lose some kids, then try to pick back up in the fall, which is a little different for the library, but for youth council. And I'm not the one to speak about youth council because it's run through the city and through city staff. But what I can see as a benefit, so Ruchira and both Cindy, they will be with us until the end of December. Then their terms will end, and we will have the opportunity then to be looking this fall for new candidates for a 2-year term. And typically, that would be a freshman or sophomore so that we can keep them through their high school years. That will give us an opportunity then to really work with them school year and then school year for 2 full solid years and not have that break. So I think it works better for the way the kids, once they're involved, how to connect with them. So I think for us, I mean, we get a full 2 years out of the students. I think it works either way. We'll be just saying goodbye just a little earlier this year with Ruchira and Cindy, but I think, their involvement has always been very good in the way it's being set up. It won't affect us very much. I know that there were a few boards that decided not to have students any longer because they weren't finding that the students were engaged. One example is the Historical Commission. I don't think there's a lot of kids that might be interested in being on Historical Commission, and the Historical Commission would rather have the opportunity to reach out maybe to a history teacher who might know of a student who might have an interest, instead of someone being placed and maybe not have a real strong interest in the actual committee. So both Historical Commission and I believe Parks and Rec, there were a couple that won't any longer have an appointment, but it doesn't mean they're not going to engage students if they can find them.
The students were interested in the beautification committee? I was surprised at that.
Yeah, I don't know, like, that's through the city, so I'm not sure. I can only speak of the Historical Commission and knowing what their response was. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruchira.
I was going to say really quick, moving us closer, if there's a way that we can even be better as board members with engaging the students that we do get, I would love to brainstorm about that, maybe with them, if we can have a meeting, because I know when I first applied for this opportunity, me, my YouTube. I looked at YouTube and I was like, oh, okay, so teens are there, that's cool. And I thought we would be more engaged than we are.
Right.
No one's doing anything wrong. I just want to, if I can make it more right, I'd be open to that.
Sure.
So I just want to throw that out there. I'm open to that opportunity.
Right.
It's a great suggestion.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Julie, I believe since we are in the first month of the fiscal year and still finishing up a few things, that we're going to not have a goals update this month.
You are correct. I'm just hoping we're looking for just a little more time. We're
Sure.
putting things together. Staff has sent me a number of things, but we're just not completely ready to launch everything, but we will by September. So
Great.
absolutely.
Thank you. Moving on, we are ready for Trustee Augusta and the Treasurer's Report.
Thank you. All right, starting on page 19 through 21, the green column, we are just going to report on 16-17, no more 15-16. So the approved budget for Fund 268 fiscal year 2016-17, which began July 1st, calls for revenue of $2,774,726 and expenditures of $3,035,900, consuming $261,174 of the fund balance. The revenue and expenditure report for fiscal year 16-17 for Fund 268 starts on page 22 and ends on 25. So the revenue for the month of July is $18,318.07, and expenditures were $213,635. I wanted to bring everyone's attention to bottom of page 25, that final column that says that we've used 80% of our budget. That is incorrect. The actual expenditures were 7.23%, and we were actually budgeted for 8.48, so for our first month, we're under budget, which is wonderful. And we should be receiving the majority of our annual property tax revenue soon. Also on page, let me see, under property and liability insurance, it shows that we've already used 89% of our budget. And I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that this is paid annually to the city, so there should be no additional money spent. And then on page 24, line 808, it says rubbish. If you notice, there is zero budget for it, but we paid $98.72. The city has separated out rubbish from our building maintenance fund or account. So garbage pickup used to be included under building maintenance, but now it's being separated. So rubbish will always be over, but the actual expense is included under building maintenance. It's just not separated.
So when we go to budget time this year, we'll go ahead and make sure we reflect that new line and go and move forward. But that came after our discussions and once they moved on to the new company that they're currently working with.
All right. Fund 269, there's no significant activity for the month, no current budget. The Finance Committee will be meeting in August to discuss ideas to bring back to the board. Balance sheet on page 28 and 29. The balance sheet for Fund 268 shows our fund balance at the end of July is $1,556,908.41, and fund balance for Fund 269 end of July is $1,673,112.62. That is my report.
Very good. Any questions for the Treasurer? Well done. All right, it is time for the Director's Report.
Okay, so moving on to page 30. First thing I wanted to point out was some information for you on a patron-driven improved customer service that we moved forward with this week starting on Monday. We had a number of patrons that have come to us both in the winter last year and then this summer with the way we have inclement weather and hot and cold. And even with the vestibule being warm in the winter, and cooled and cool in the summer, but it's been very warm, as you know, this summer. They asked if we would be willing to open up the lobby, bring down our gates, which we have, and open up that lobby area for access for patrons just to come in a few minutes early. It gets very crowded. It's really wonderful to see that people are about 50 people deep waiting to get in the library when we open at 10 a.m. So, they start to form lines a little earlier just so that they can get in. And so we started that on Monday. We actually bring down our gates now. We welcome patrons in 10 minutes before 10 o'clock. That allows them access to restrooms just to feel more comfortable. They're not as crammed in our vestibule, and it takes them out of the weather that we have experienced, both hot and cold. And this has been going very well. We're happy that we can accommodate the patrons this way, give them a little more access and bring them through the doors. We don't actually start library service until 10 o'clock. And we have put up signs, letting them know that and thanking them for their patience. That has not been an issue. The only thing that we have found is that they just get so excited they don't even wait for the gate to go up. So as the gate's going up, they're, doing the limbo underneath it. So we've had to ask them to just at least wait a few moments, until we can get those gates up, and then they just flood the gates actually and go into the library, which, really is not a problem. It's pretty awesome when you have that kind of usage of a library. So, but we're happy to be able to accommodate them and give them a little more access to the building that way. I think it makes them feel more comfortable. Then also, you had seen the information about the rubbish line, so I just a point of that for Trustee Augusta, which she had mentioned. I wanted to give you a breakdown of our in-service day that we will be having this Friday. So we open with just a little small breakfast. There will be a welcome from myself, kind of a walkthrough of the agenda. We're going to introduce some of the new faces that have come on, because this is the one day out of the year that all the employees are together. We have 2 different shifts. We have weekend and evening people, and there's a lot of times where people don't cross paths. So this is the one day out of the year that we can all be together, talk about different things that are going on in the library, new ideas and even new services, and even learn new opportunities. We do have a customer service guarantee presentation that will take place by Stephanie Schulzer. She's from the city of Novi. They actually implemented a customer service guarantee a couple years ago. With us having a newer department head come on board about a year ago, I didn't want to do it without her feeling comfortable first for her new position, and then we're rolling forward. So this is something that we will be introducing from the city's perspective, and then as you all know, it's a goal of ours this year. There will be a number of opportunities for the departments and individual staff to work on customer service related goals, which you will see in September in our goals document. That will meet the larger goal that the library board has set, but plus also try to mirror and to meet the city's guarantee for customer service as well. So we're very excited about that. And then we have a presentation from Dr. Steve Matthews, our superintendent of schools. It's hard to believe that Dr. Matthews has been in the district 6 years already. As we were opening our building, he was starting his time with the Novi Community School District, and we always have wonderful presentations and we include people, and this is the first time we're including Dr. Matthews into our day so he can share what's going on with the school district and what they're going to be doing this year and even in the future, knowing that they've had a technology bond and different programs and different opportunities for changing out their schools and also different services and programs that they're offering. So we look forward to him presenting also on Friday. And then there will be a goal session and an opportunity for the staff to meet and talk about goals. And then towards the early afternoon, we have a program on social justice. And this is a topic that actually was started back 3-4 years ago now with our school district. And the library has played a small part. There has been a number of staff that have been included in their social justice forums and and different conversations that they've had around social justice. This is the first time that I will be introducing it to the staff and hoping that we will have some really good conversations this year under customer service that relate to social justice topics. So we have Jay Marks from Oakland County who will speak on how the county has introduced social justice over the last few years with a number of schools in our district. And then we will have a couple people, Dr. Weber and Darby Hoppenstead, who have been the leaders of social justice with the Novi Community School District. They will talk a little bit about the role with the school district. And then our very own Tara Mitchner will be also talking with the staff about micro and macroaggressions. and just introducing that whole topic to our staff this year so that we can have a full year of conversations and relating to that topic more as a staff. So I'm excited about that. Moving on, then we're going to have a little fun in the afternoon. We saw that our teens had such a great time playing bubble soccer that the library staff wanted to play bubble soccer. So we're going to do that in the afternoon, and then we have a small ice cream social. So there's a lot of work and conversations going on, but we also, as a team, want to have some fun too. Lunch will be provided to the staff that day, and it just gives us a chance to, have a little bit of camaraderie and be together for one day and get to know each other better and hang out and have some fun. So I think we have a very good day planned for the staff for this Friday. The library will be closed. We have signage already posted and it's been put out, but we'll make sure that there's a larger sign that's placed at the doors that morning so that everyone knows as they're coming in that we are not open that day. And then services and the library will be open normal on Saturday following. Any other questions? Yeah.
I'm just sitting here thinking, customer service guarantee and social justice. There are no bigger, broad, conceptual concepts in our language, I think, than those two. And so how do you get a hold of them, and how do you make them concrete, and how do you make them real? And so my first one is what are there standards for customer service goals? What does the guarantee mean, and are there guidelines or outlines or some directionality on that whole concept?
There is actually. The city actually put together a guarantee, and the staff will see it for the first time, their rollout from the city's perspective, which I believe in. It's a great concept to have. So they will see it for the first time on Friday with the presentation from Stephanie. After that, there's a follow-up. A number of our staff have taken it, but because we've had so many new staff in the last year or so, there is an actual customer service survey that the staff will take. That way we can see feedback and see how they answered questions in relation to customer service. And then from there, the team or the different teams from different departments will start thinking about, and they already have, about certain goals. And I'm looking for both goals that relate to the public for customer service and goals that relate to us internally for customer service for the year. So they will flesh those out on Friday and make final decisions on the types of goals that they will work on as departments and as individuals for this year under customer service.
Will there be opportunities to assess the guarantees and the quality that are already present rather than starting from point zero?
In fact, a number of the departments are looking to do surveys to get feedback from the community itself when it relates to customer service, which is great. And then we're going to start that in the fall, and then in the spring do another one to see how that has changed based on scale. So I'm excited that we're going to be doing some work like this.
And then the social justice.
The social justice, this will be new for the staff, so it's really, this is going to be a very basic intro so that they can understand the work that's already going on in the county, but then at the school district level and how the library plays a part in it. We've had situations where I think under customer service we can better ourselves and be more aware of how to approach social justice. For the school district, the idea of social justice is for everyone to have a voice. I'd love the staff to feel the same way so that we can have conversations, as a team and hopefully get through things that might be uncomfortable and hopefully provide better customer service because of it. So we have some ideas on topics. We haven't decided them yet, but as soon as we know, we will let you know how we're moving forward. We'd love to incorporate you on some of those discussions if you'd like to be involved, and I'll be happy to send out invitations.
It's really powerful, and I commend you. I think those are two phenomenally important qualities that you're looking to improve within our society. And I think that political elections and so on this year have really shone a light on social justice issues in a way that there's much work.
We have a wonderful staff, very intelligent. They love to give their input. They love to share. So I think this will end up being very good conversations that we will have through the year.
Commend you.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions?
And commend Tara
Yes.
for willingness for...
Thank you for her
I
giving
wanna
us her
hear about
time.
micro, macro aggression myself.
Absolutely. And I think, just to give you guys some background, I know you all know I'm a therapist, but I do a lot of workshops on diversity relations.
Yes.
Our words are powerful. That's why we're in the library, right? The words in those books have meaning, and they change the way that we feel, the way that we look at the world. The words that we speak do the same thing. So if I go into the library and I look a mess, like I did yesterday, I went to the library, I looked at absolute mess. And if I feel like someone's treating me based on the way I look, then that
absolutely.
might make me feel a mess as well.
That's right.
So we
Right.
just want to make sure that we're providing an environment of education. We can't expect people to know this stuff if we don't train.
Right. Yep.
Good, thank you.
Following that, you saw the information in relation to the STEAM kits and our wonderful presentation from Community Financial. So that gives you a little more information about how those kits are going to be implemented in the library. Then there was some information about Out and About and where I have been lately. I wanted you to see the memo that I wrote on page 32 that went to City Council and Mayor Gatt.
Julie,
Yes.
I have a question on the out and abouts.
Oh, sure.
The facilities interviews,
Yes.
was anyone selected?
Yes, we do have a part-time person that was selected. He's actually in training right now, so as soon as he gets acclimated, that will be a new face that you will meet as well. So we're very happy to have him on board.
I would love to add, you can't tell by my nonverbals. I met him yesterday when I looked a mess, and
Oh,
he
good.
didn't treat me like a mess. That was awesome. He was great.
Was that a new position or hiring a, replacing?
No, it was a replacement, yes. We had a part-time person leave in, actually back in April, and so it's taken us some time to find someone, but it's a very good fit, and he'll be working part-time, 23 hours, mostly evenings and Sundays are his schedule. We're doing a lot more programming through the weekend, and our rentals continue almost every day of the week, so we do have a facilities person that's on site, if not two or more during the week and daily, so there's a lot of things to do. Aside from the cleaning company that we have, there's a lot of things daily for them to do.
Yeah. I want to commend you for this letter you were talking about, page
Sure.
32.
Mhm.
You sure is a director of facilities now. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Supervising the work at the same time you wrote it, that's good.
Oh, thank you.
To the mayor as well as to the council.
Well, I truly appreciate the support that we received on this. It could have been a project that the library could have taken on its own, and it's nice when we do have some wonderful people in the city that have expertise in this, that lent their expertise and worked with us to make this project, I thought, very smoothly. Thought it went very well.
Yeah, I agree. I know I was in one or two meetings with you with some folks on it, and it couldn't have gone better. They were extremely helpful. It was a combined project. It wasn't our project or their project. It went very well.
Yes.
And I also know from City Council that Wayne Roble, who happens to be here tonight, was very involved in pushing the City
Yes.
Council and the mayor in order to move along in a collaborative partnership. So we'd like to thank Wayne, who's sitting in the back.
So moving on, if you look at page 33 through 35, this just came across my desk, so I made sure I could put it in as quickly as possible. I wanted to let you know that I do have a meeting with our cafe owner tomorrow to go over these few things that have been noted in the health report, and some other things that I wanted to point out to him as well. I can tell you that he has been turning in his rent on time. I will address, like I said, I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, so I will be addressing, but I wanted you to see that there were a couple things noted. I do know that the one thing that was noted in terms of food, that was handled right away. In terms of that was the major thing at this point. And these are things that have just shown up, and then you've seen there's been a few things that have been repeated as well. I did make a call to the health department just to double check, and this was a new person actually that was on the report. to see how the cafe was doing, and she felt that the report was a positive report, and she didn't have anything major to add to it. I have a few things that I'm going to be addressing with Mr. Bernstein because there are some cleanliness issues that I have a concern for. We take pride in keeping the building very clean. It's cleaned on a daily basis, 7 days a week, and I have some concerns that that's not always happening in the cafe, and I want to make sure that those are being addressed.
So your crew clean the floor of this cafe?
No, he is supposed to.
Supposed to.
Correct.
You think he does it? Okay.
No.
Trustee Papari.
I also had some questions. The plumbing system seems to be the responsibility of the landowner.
It's us,
And
and
that
we-
is cited.
yes.
And so I'm hoping that that particular citation will be taken care of.
Yes, it will. Yeah. In fact, that was, I don't believe that's an issue currently that they've been done. They have been completed. Everything else that was
Water
just.
handle is leaking, shall be maintained and in good repair requirements.
Yes, that's all been, everything on that end has been completed by us. Anything that relates to the building, we do right away.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Before we leave the cafe, I've noticed on more than one occasion that he has parked his vehicle right in front of our doors to carry things in, but he's not, I don't believe, according to our contract, he's supposed to do that.
He's
And I
not.
noticed today that he had parked it, left it running, and I went in, went upstairs, talked to Marcia,
Right.
talked to a couple other people upstairs that came down. His car was still there, and I think it was still running. There were people backed up trying to get around him. I think we should tell him that we will enforce that, and if he fails to abide by the contract, that will be a breach of the contract.
Absolutely.
He does it far too often.
He does. And he's been told a number of times.
It's a
Absolutely.
safety issue.
Yeah.
It is a safety issue.
And he has access to our back room and our staff area where he's supposed to be coming in. He has a cart that can be left there, so if he's hauling in a number of items, there's a cart there for him to utilize. All that is made available to him.
And when I've seen him carrying things in, it's not like he had a whole
Right.
lot of items. He could
Right.
park just like the rest of his park and carry his stuff in. So,
Correct.
Yeah, if you would add that to the list of
I would be
items.
happy to.
Thank
yes.
you.
Any other questions in regard to that? No? Okay. Moving on, just pointing out, there was I just wanted to show how we're moving forward with our promotion of the Raising a Reader in Novi. This was a letter that was actually sent out to all preschool directors, and there were 26 of them that received the letter in the Novi community, inviting them to our Literacy Day that we're going to be having on Saturday, August 27th. So that's the first time we kick off and we'll introduce the brochure. Then the following week, on Wednesday, the 31st, we are invited all day to be part of the preschool building and their open house, which the library will be there all day, talking about the initiative and getting parents and kids ready for this. We won't start our story times until September, so that's when we'll start working with our story time parents. And then we will also kick off in mid-September our staff actually going over to the preschool building and having a presence there, usually about 4 hours a week, where we have someone there talking and presenting. So this is kind of where we're at this point. I'm very pleased to tell you that both Vibe Credit Union and the Novi Rotary came in as sponsors, $1,000 sponsors, for this particular initiative.
Good.
So we're very excited to have them as part of this program. Rotary has a huge tie with literacy and wanting to be involved. This actually was the first time in a number of years that the Novi Rotary has a literacy component that we're working on, thanks to this program here. So we're excited that they're doing that. And Vibe Credit Union has been another wonderful sponsor of us for a number of programs, and they were very excited to be coordinating with young families for this particular initiative. Moving forward, 37, 38, 39, these are information from different departments and what's been going on, both with technology and information services, also support services as well. And then we move into statistics. And I did want to point out to you, if you looked at page 43, there is a new statistic line added, and it is highlighted in yellow, and it says drive up. So starting in July, we added a counter to the drive-up window area so that when a car physically goes through, we can count that activity. So that's additional usage of the library with someone, possibly checking out at the window, picking up a book, paying a fine, or dropping off materials. And we have found that that tends to be a different, the percentage is much higher that that's a separate number that we can count. There might be a little bit of overlap, but not much. It's usually someone separate from coming in the building that day. So this will be a very good number to be watching as we roll forward for the year. Then following that, we're on our first month of statistics, as you can see, and things are doing very well in terms of attendees and numbers and usage. Again, if you look on page 50, I'm always interested, 42,000 hits on our library app, and they're interested in the catalog and their account. Zinio being number 3, and that's our downloadable magazines, our full-text magazines that library patrons can have access to, and then Overdrive is downloadable books. So those are very popular. And then the library locator, people actually wanting to know where we are. So that's also, I think, a great thing. Following on page 51 is the Friends of the Novi Libraries board minutes from June 8th. These were approved. So these are actual minutes. They did approve their wish list, and as you know, we received a wonderful check from them a month ago. Yeah. And then following is the May minutes that were approved for the Novi Historical Commission. They did not have a June meeting, and then I'm waiting to receive July's, which they'll approve at this August meeting. And then rolling forward, page 55, we had a great turnout and wonderful partnership with the City of Novi for a spring business blender that we are bringing a fall business blender back to the library on September 27th. Another opportunity to reach out to our business community, connect with small businesses, and let them know all of the resources that they have available at the library and also in the community. So this, I hope, will continue to grow into a great opportunity for us to connect with our local businesses. And then we're into author season. Always in the fall, we focus on some major authors that we bring to our community and the opportunity to meet authors and hear them speak. So October 12th, which is a Wednesday, we will have our Authors Live Luncheon. It is held at Fox Run, thanks to the wonderful partnership that we've had now for the last 3 years with them. And we are bringing 3 authors to that author event, to that luncheon. Kelly Forden, author of Garden for the Blind. Peter Leonard, who is Elmore Leonard's son, very popular fiction writer, who his new book, Unknown Remains. And then Wade Rouse, who is a new author. He writes under the pen name of Viola Shipman, which is the name of his grandmother. So he,
So unusual.
yes.
For a man to use a woman's name.
Right, but he tells a wonderful story about his grandmother in this book. So he's, they're all Michigan writers. Wade, though, does live part-time in California, so we're getting him before he leaves his summer home in Michigan. He'll be presenting at Fox Run. And we're so excited that Your Own University, which is a group at Fox Run, works with me to decide on our authors and bring them to the community. This is open to anyone. A charge of $18, which is very, very reasonable to have lunch and to hear 3 great presentations. So I put it in your packet in case you know of anyone who's interested in authors, and if you want to go ahead and do some promotion on your own, please feel free.
I would certainly welcome all members of the board not only to come to the event, but also to come see Fox Run.
Yeah.
I will be happy to take you on a little tour if you'd like.
Great opportunity. They've been wonderful hosts the last 3 years, so it's been a great event. We typically see about 100 attendees, if not more. So that's our goal, is always to have 100 in the audience. And BookBeat will be our sponsor for selling books that day. They're out of Oak Park, and they've done some work with Fox Run, so we're happy to have them on board. Page 57 Last week, on the 11th of August, we announced our community read for this year. And the author is Chris McDougall, author of the titled book, Born to Run. So this is a great story. In fact, I've been told that the school district actually uses this book in their curriculum. So I'm excited that we might get some really good presentation, or representation, I should say, from our students. Lots of great programming going on. This is a wonderful partnership with 6 libraries: Novi, Northville, Salem, South Lyon, Lyon Township, Wixom, and Walled Lake. And the library, our library, Novi, owns 50 copies. When I left today, only 4 were on the shelf. All have been checked out except 4 copies. So they will recycle up until November. People can check them out, place them on hold, and try to read the book before the author presents on November 2nd. He will be at the Novi Library for a presentation at 7 p.m. So we're very excited about that. I'm happy to take any other questions you may have.
I think you should be busier.
Now, you told me 2 months ago to slow down.
I think she was tongue in cheek there.
Right.
Any other questions on the director's report? If not, we'll move ahead to the committee reports. Trustee Mitchner, would you like to say anything regarding your policy committee?
Not at this time.
Okay. HR committee, I don't think there's any action at this time.
There has not.
Finance committee, we are scheduled to meet August 25th with a potential donor
Yes.
and discuss some options for a library trust and endowment. We will let you know how that goes after it takes place. Events, marketing, fundraising committee. Any comments?
Yes,
Okay.
the gala is next Friday. And then I put a little note that I'm working with a vendor because there might be an opportunity to reach out to our library non-users. So I'll be bringing you some a new idea that I think might be a way for us to connect. So more details to come, but we'll definitely keep you posted, and we'll be bringing in that group as I have more details.
Strategic planning committee, I don't believe there's anything right now.
There hasn't, but I will be calling a meeting because we always in the fall plan to give a strategic planning overview, and we'll get moving on some information to be able to bring to the public, I think, by mid-fall.
The building and landscape committee, there's a couple items you'll see there. I'm going to start with the bottom one first, and that is that we had planned a meeting tomorrow, which was a follow-up meeting with the Energy Reduction Coalition. Unfortunately, it has to be postponed, but not for too great of a time period, I don't believe.
Right.
Again, just to remind you, the purpose of their committee, their company, is to reduce energy costs and energy usage via conversion to more efficient lighting and more durable lighting. We'll hopefully be able to report on that next month when we
I
meet.
hope so.
On the first 2 items,
Just a minute.
yes,
Do we have a company like this, some other name also? This is the only one company?
As far as I know.
No, but I'm saying that maybe after 2 months, another company come up, why we were not invited to present to you?
Well, I had another company reach out to me, and when I asked them about them installing and it being on their cost, they did not respond. So they want to help energy efficiencies in the library, but it's not going to be at zero
Keep
cost.
in a record that you did approach somebody.
I did, and I have been approached. It's just not the same concept.
Okay. Thank you.
on the landscape and building side, we did have, as I think we discussed last month, some damage done to several of our bioswales. It was done by our landscaping subcontractor, and we've had Drew from the Creating Sustainable Landscapes, CSL, come out and take a look at it. Julie, I know you were going to get some follow-up because we had some costs and some action items. Can you give us an update on that?
Yes, actually, I reached out to Drew, and he had shared with us that he thought meeting towards the end of August would be a good time to come back together and see how the growth of things, how it was progressing. So he had sent me some dates. We're working on some dates for the end of August to be put in place and to meet then with the landscape company at the same time. So we have that conversation all together.
Good, thank you. Bylaw Committee, it does not look like anything at this time.
There isn't, other than the decision to extend the period to 2 years for the youth council members was something that we were waiting for.
We were.
And
So
now that
we
that
can
has
move
happened,
forward.
we'll be getting back together and
Correct.
probably have something to forward to you shortly.
For September. We should be ready for September.
Good. Okay, we have reached the second point in our agenda for public comment. In order to hear all citizen comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 5-minute time limit. This is not a question and answer session, therefore library members will not respond to questions. It is an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the Novi Public Library Board of Trustees. Does anyone wish to come forward and address the board? I don't think we have anyone coming forward right now, so we will move on to matters for board action, and it appears as if there are none,
Don't.
which brings us to point 16, which says adjourn.
I just want to make an announcement that Indian community will be celebrating their India Independence Day on August 20th, that is Saturday, at the Suburban Showplace. From 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock, our mayor and our old council member will be there dancing, and to come and eat Indian food and some jewelry, some dresses and other things.
That's 60th or 70th anniversary?
70.
70.
70.
And that's at the Suburban,
Showplace.
yeah.
Someplace.
Mhm.
It's free. You can come and enjoy it.
Good.
What time?
10 to 8 o'clock.
So 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.? Thank you.
Any other comments before I ask for a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.